what is going on, dudes and dudettes, gamers and gamettes, lads and lassies? Welcome to 2024 and games and gamers. 2024. This has probably already happened. I don't know. 2024 has happened. We're doing this as an emergency. I hate the internet.
Yeah, we're literally doing this on the first of. We're doing this on the 1st of January. We recorded this video originally weeks ago.
Yeah, we had this recorded, and like
we had this recorded up, and it literally uploaded today. Yeah. I saw the video; it was there, and it's just gone. Yeah, and we have no idea what happened to it. We went to manage videos. Oh, maybe it was hidden. Maybe something got copyrighted. Maybe we're allowed to do music. I don't know. We looked, right? It's nothing. It's just gone. We didn't Hayden went to check. He didn't get an email about anything. I logged into the channel. I didn't see it. So we're just. It's just gone, and we have no idea where it went.
Our first official video of the year got destroyed. Don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Honestly, this video has the potential to be much better. Has the potential to be there.
God,
so
you worry so much about potential and not living in the moment. You got to live in the moment and be happy with the moment. So, well, I mean, we could do what the media, but at the exact same time, this is our Games and Gamers of the Year. So, I'll explain how this goes. Games and Gamers Games of the Year is our favorite games that we've played between there's 3 iterations of it. Is you have the Games and Gamers Game of the Year, which is our favorite game that both of us have played on Games and Gamers through our review over when we started in April to the end of 2023. So his list and my list will be different. We may do it later on. If we had a third person, we could do actual awards, but I don't think we're going to do that. It's just his top 3, my top 3. We're going to have our favorite games that were made in 2023. So if it was released within January 1st to December 29th, 31st? Well, I was about to say the 20th, but December 30th or whatever the last day, 31st of 2023 is relevant. And then we have our overall game of the year, which is a game that doesn't have to be released within the year of 2023. It could have released at, let's say, I got this game. We'll use Turok. Turok could have been theoretically my favorite game I've ever played of 2023. We could use that as an example.
Because he's never played it prior. He played it last year.
We've played in 2023.
Yeah. Something that hasn't been played yet. Yeah.
So
funny story about that. He showed me the cartridge. I was like, oh, that's a Nintendo 64 cartridge, and I was like, he said it's a rated M game. He said, I'll give you $1 if you could guess it. And I was like, wait, there is literally only 4 games that my dad had: Mario 64, Kirby and the Crystal Shards, Donkey Kong 64, and whatever that game was. I didn't know the title of it, but I knew that game. I even told him, does it have a red eye and sort of like a scaly look to it? And he was like, you already know what the game is, don't you? And I wish I knew. Technically, it doesn't count because I had to look it up to find it, but I knew which one he was talking about.
I'll send you 50 cents. I'll give you 50 cents when I go to visit.
50 cents. All right, there we go. I'll take it.
You're gonna forget.
10 cent penalty. I'm gonna forget.
You're gonna forget. I'm just gonna toss you away 2 quarters. He's like, hey, what the fuck is this? What the fuck? Why are you handing me quarters? Oh, 50. I don't remember. I just know I get 50 cents.
Two quarter penalty. Yeah, I'll take the 2 quarters. I'll take the 2 quarters. But yeah, so it was hilarious. He had the one rated M game that I remember for the 64. It's just funny. We're literally recording this barely at like any time after we recorded the Batman episode. We literally recorded like not even a week ago, right?
No, we recorded this like 2 days ago.
Yeah, like literally
recorded 2 days ago.
We literally like 2-3 days ago we literally recorded the Batman episode. But yeah, so we weren't even we were trying to be ahead of schedule.
I guess spoilers for what's coming out in the 1st of the January. Thanks, Danger.
You can bleep it if you want.
Alrighty. But as we also do this, we also do have a we have a timeline of how we're going to go through this too when we reach the end of this, because just because I'm genuinely upset with the thing happened, we had it all prepared, everything was dandy, good to go, and it's gone. I'm doing this, even though I don't know how many people genuinely care, but I'm doing this as an apology. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. My content, my hard work, gone!
Yeah, it's weird. I'm not sure what happened. It was there. It was there. And yeah, I even back whenever the episode came out, I edited the description. I watched the video like 3 times over, and everything was fine.
What I should do is I should get like a terabyte little hard drive and just store
for backup. Yeah,
everything on there.
Just in case, at least for a while.
Out of curiosity, how much is a terabyte hard drive? Just
it would be a good thing to have.
For a minute.
It'd be a good thing to have. It would make sure, but yeah, but yeah, it sucks what happened. But we thought, hey, how cool would it be if like we just talk about the thing again? We just talk about our games of the year, kind of do the same thing again. Then we could go ahead and actually give info of our plans for games and gamers of this year. That way it's more of a proper video. Instead of just saying, oh, we have a big year planned, we'll go ahead and tell some of our plan. We'll tell the plan we have. And then we'll also potentially talk about something else. But that we could decide later. I'm good either way if we do it or if we don't. We
It's
can
only
wait on telling you.
$25.
Nice. That's actually really good.
It
But we
really
could
is.
for the thing that I was talking about where we were iffy on telling. I'm down either way if we do or don't. But either way, we're telling them our plan for the podcast. Do you need me to text you what the other thing is?
Yes.
I texted it to you earlier. Oh, I literally.
Is it? It's a spinoff.
The spin-off pretty much.
Okay, yeah, so I do have it right. Alrighty, so we're gonna do this, and since I'm a gentleman today, I'm gonna go first. So, Danger, go first. What's your? Well, let's start with games and gamers games of the year. So
Games and gamers game of the year.
Yep.
Third place. Let me pull out the list again. Hold on.
Oh my
I put
God,
that
you
way
had
for-
it there. What happened?
I my budget off. So for games and gamers game of the year, my for number 3, my third place was Resident Evil Remastered. Resident Evil Remastered, I thought, is a very fun game. I played it, and out of all the games, it's the one that I wanted to jump back into sooner than later. And I think it was hilarious of having it higher than I thought I would, because I didn't even think it was going to be on the top 3 list, because there was a bunch of like really cool games in it. For example, like the fact that I'm putting Resident Evil Remastered above Plague Tale, I'm putting it above the Last of Us, I'm putting it above Spider-Man, I'm putting it above like Mario Odyssey, I'm putting it above all these games that I love so much. But Resident Evil had a good story. Resident Evil had fun gameplay. I love the puzzles in it. I really want to go in and actually play this through the second story again. And there's just a very enjoyable and fun game that kept me constantly thinking and puzzled. It used a lot. One thing I think I love is that it is the only game where there's so much back and forth, but I really enjoyed it. Typically with back and forth, I think it's a little tedious and I don't enjoy it as much, but Resident Evil did it really well, and so I really enjoyed that game in comparison to all these others. Now, Resident Evil, you could easily fit in any of these other games, but one thing is I enjoyed the gameplay of this game more than I did with The Last of Us or Plague Tale. Plague Tale was super fun. It had a really good story. As a game, it was an okay game. I enjoyed it as a game, but the story I loved. Same thing with like The Last of Us. I think I enjoyed the gameplay a little more than that, and the story was also really good. But I enjoyed the Resident Evil gameplay more.
Fair.
Even though it looked better and the story was great, I still feel like Resident Evil beat it. If and any of these you could slightly tweak them, and they could so easily beat Resident Evil. But I think Resident Evil is good for third.
Very
For
fair.
mine.
Very fair. I don't have an issue with Resident Evil, and now that I got access to every Resident Evil game ever made.
Yeah. So when did you like? Was the game that you got finally the last one, the one you got recently? That was the final one you were missing.
You know what? I don't care. I'll just say what I got. I now own. I don't have. Out of the main lines, yes, you have like spin-offs like Outbreak 2 and stuff like that. I'm missing a few, but for like the Dark Chronicles,
but for like for like 1 to 8, like storyline numbered, like
I
numbered
have
game.
chronologically Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't have a copy of 5, 6. Don't have 7 or 8, but I have it on the PlayStation. Then I have Resident Evil 2, 3, 4 remake. I have 5 on the PlayStation, 6 on the PlayStation, 7 on the PlayStation, and 8 on the PlayStation. I own.
Nice.
I also have Operation Raccoon City. I have Code Veronica 2, both physical and digital. I have Revelations 1 and 2, and I also have Outbreak on the PlayStation 2. Ooh,
So what I'm hearing is we're
one,
going to be getting a lot of Resident Evil stuff at some point.
all jokes aside, I don't know if Resident Evil Outbreak is split screen. If it is, that could be something we could do. I don't know if you know anything about Outbreak or not.
Nope.
Oh, it's a game.
All right. Well,
All right, so
we'll figure out.
my number three. My number 3 is one that that is kind of threw Danger for a loop because he was not expecting this one on this list in any capacity. That was Silent Hill. It was honestly Mario Odyssey. I'm not the biggest Mario fan when it comes down to it. I don't hate Mario in any capacity. I hate the Mario fans that are like he's the only thing that exists. I hate the diehard Mario fans. It's like Fortnite. It's why I don't like Fortnite. I hate the diehard Fortnite fans, and that's what make me not like the game. So, him over there.
But yeah. Also, one interesting thing about us recording this again was you talked about playing this game back whenever we did this episode, but actually interesting information came out. Did you know that it's actually scientifically studied that Mario Odyssey reduced depression with a bunch of people that played the game?
Man, if only that helped me more.
It apparently, for people who played it at the time of them playing it, and even for a time after, it apparently actually can reduce it. I'm not sure. I didn't see everything about it, but apparently just the atmosphere and the worlds, the characters and everything, apparently that somehow helped a bunch. Which honestly, I feel like it's similar to a lot of the older games, but I guess because of its newer, brighter look,
it's the bright color, it's the bright happiness. I can 100% see it. I've taken people out there.
I think it was a bunch of that stuff that like helped with it, which I think is just interesting.
I can see.
Yeah, which I think is interesting. I thought that was super, and that was like one thing we didn't even get to talk about because at the time this wasn't a actual scientific document at the time we recorded this. So there's an
damn
interesting
it, Mario.
It's a really good. I love Mario. I love Mario. But yeah, Resident Evil, between Mario Odyssey, Resident Evil,
and the reason, and I also have,
and again, Mario Odyssey could be put there because of how much I enjoy the gameplay, but there's no story. There's no super good story. It's a bunch of mini stories, which is good. But
can I finish my number 3, please?
Yeah, sorry. You said the word Mario and I started going off the bat.
I liked Mario Odyssey. It was the first game I played on the Switch, like first legitimate game I played on the Switch, and I had a lot of fun with it. A lot more fun than I thought I was going to have. I don't like the 2D platformers. I like 3D platformers a lot more. That's why Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, games like that are high up on my list of games I love and really like. It's why I own some of them. I don't talk about them much. It's the issue. I love a lot of games. I don't talk about them. I liked every bit of it because it's a fun little like chill game. Like Dangerous Head maybe helps with depression apparently, but it's one of those like you never have to like worry hopping in and not knowing what you're doing because it's Mario. Go collect shit. And tied at number 3 is Danger's favorite game, absolute favorite game on Games and Gamers.
He lies.
We have scientific proof that you said it beforehand that you want to play all the games again, which means you don't hate it. So, it is Silent Hill. And Silent Hill is not going to resonate with everybody. I know for a fact it's not going to resonate with everybody. That's 100% a fact. I love the game through and through because I love Silent Hill. It's one of my absolute favorite franchises. That's why I have Pyramid Head above me. It's why I own Silent Hill 2. Did I tell you I have a physical copy of Silent Hill 2 somewhere? Probably on my game shelf.
Maybe. You probably did at some point.
And I found out, even though it's kind of, the case is kind of messed up, it still is expensive as fuck. Too bad I'm never going to sell it. And so I got, like, I love Silent Hill. I like the entire atmosphere of it. And the first one, because I loved entirely because it was so clunky. It was so old because it's the PS1 game. It plays so differently compared to other ones. It plays better than the original, and I'm not talking about the one we played, but the original PS1 Resident Evil. It plays really well, and I liked every bit of it. And I like this, and I know a lot more about how the development of it was too. That makes me love that game so much more than that, like you do, because I feel like if you heard the entire thing of it, you might appreciate it a little more. You may not like the game itself, but you'll appreciate the game a little more, and that's why I like it so much, is I know a bit more behind the scenes of it.
Yeah. We made the episode. I will say in a short period of why I don't really like the game. It's just the gameplay didn't feel rewarding. The story, I never really got a grasp on the story. When I did get some story, it wasn't good. The story I didn't like. The gameplay was iffy. I didn't really like the control of it. Even after I figured out, like, okay, let me just use the key thing, it still wasn't enjoyable to me. And just, to me, both story and gameplay wasn't enjoyable to me at all. And then it was frustrating on top of that. So I didn't get enjoyment out of it. And I'm sure there's plenty of people who would enjoy it. I don't. And it's just
the original Resident Evil. You're gonna hate it so much.
It's a me thing.
because these two play nearly the exact same.
Maybe.
All right.
I mean, as long as if it's a Resident Evil story again, if Silent Hill had a good story, could be forgiven.
And like I said, the story, it's one of those ones you pay attention to the stuff because Danger's notorious for not paying attention. We even made that as a joke in there. But it's one of those ones you got to pay attention. And I will not lie, the game does need the replayability helps you understand. It's like Dark Souls. The first person who played Dark Souls is like, oh my god, boom.
Yeah.
The Silent Hill is that one you play through a second time, and then you could if you don't know what you're going in completely blind. Silent Hill is one of those ones you need to play a second time to fully grasp, just for some parts.
Yeah. And I did say that was the problem for me is you gotta play. It's like you should play it a second time to get more of it. I hated my first time. Why would I want to go through all that a second time? So it's just one of those things to where I feel like that's where it makes or breaks a lot of people, and it broke me. Made it for you. It made it on your tied for third place. So clearly it's a really good game for you, but for me it broke me, and I don't want to play it again. And I'm sure if I played it again, my mind may change. I'm not gonna say that it wouldn't ever change, but I don't want to play it anytime soon.
Yep, that's fair.
I'll play it again at some point. I will.
All right, when Games
but
and
not
Gamers
anytime
gets
soon.
1,000 subs, Danger will play it live.
If it gets 1,000 subs, maybe we get 1,000 subs, maybe.
All
if
right.
1,000 subs and like 100 people say to do it, then sure.
Alrighty. So going on to number
my
2.
turns.
Danger, what's number 2?
Number 2, I can already go ahead and say it. Number 2 is Sea of Stars. I really enjoyed Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars is a very fun game. I never even heard of this game until it was recommended to me. It is legitimately one of... I'm trying to think before I say this statement, and I think I'll still keep with it. It is one of my favorite games I've ever played. And I think I'm going to keep that because I'm thinking of all the games that I have played, and I do think it's up there. The only thing is, and the reason it is held in second and not first, is because it has so many problems. It's a good game. I will say I'm not going to recommend this game to everyone, but to someone who I think who would enjoy this game, I would definitely recommend it to them. And honestly, this is a game that you'd have to play through again. And you'd have to kind of, not really again, but more of you have to kind of backtrack a lot to complete a bunch of stuff to get the true story and information and stuff. The problem is that the story is not the best. It's not the best story. Some characters the main characters are lackluster in comparison, and that kind of sucks. It's not bad whenever you have a bunch of characters that are better than the main character. That's fine, but these main characters almost had no story, and they did have a story. The problem is they didn't build on it at all.
They didn't have character. That was their 100% issue.
These characters were not really, and one thing either you said it or I said, I can't remember who said it, but we even mentioned how they were kind of just stuck for in a location for 10 years. They didn't really have social, but they've been with each other. So what if they had their moments to where they were talking with just each other? Then it could have been, they had their own moments. But you're telling me even in their own moments, they don't really have too much going on. They more have just reflected, but they never thought of anything about the future or whatnot. So it just kind of sucked. Sea of Stars is amazing, though. I say if you feel like playing it, you should. And I really enjoyed it a lot. But it had too many problems, and it's why it's not number 1. If it had less problems, it'd probably be up there at number 1.
And that's entirely fair. Whenever I've talked to Manny, he literally, I think whenever I talked to him, he literally thought I was going to give this game like a 2. I like Sea of Stars. It's on my Switch. I like Sea of Stars. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big sucker for good storytelling, good characters, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It had, and one of its biggest pivotal moments in the game. You know what? I don't care. We already did a review on it. Spoilers.
We did.
Garl dies. And you know what
spoilers.
happens? Is there's a little 10-page comic of everybody coping with it. That fucking sucks.
Yeah. There's there's a whole bunch of stuff with the game.
By the way, if you want to go hear the issues that I have, me much more than him, go check out the past episodes of Games and Gamers. Yeah.
Yeah, go. We've done for games and for these we've done reviews on them, so y'all should go check them out if you want more information and whatnot.
Hmm.
But I mean, it was fun. It was a fun game. I loved it. It just had way too many problems. It had
Hmm.
way too many problems for me to put it higher than what I
Exactly.
gave it in on this list.
That's why it's not even.
But without those problems, it would have been number one super easily, and it would have been amazing. It
Yeah,
could have so easily been the best, so easily without all these like little things missing here and there. There's a lot missing in it.
Danger.
What's up? Yeah, what's up?
What is on your blanket?
A blanket? Yoku.
Oh, I see it now.
Just-
Okay.
Are you just now seeing it?
I couldn't tell because it looked he was scrunched up a little bit, and so I couldn't
Yeah,
tell.
it's. I mean, I literally it's a very soft blanket, so I just put it on my pillow, and it's easier.
I'm
It's
one of those
better.
weirdos. I don't sleep with a pillow. I sleep with a soft blanket. It's much more.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean it's a similar concept. I just put a blanket on top of a pillow.
Yeah.
It's a smaller
All right.
pillow, so I just put a soft blanket on it. It's like why not?
All right.
I mean it works. I wasn't doing it for like one time, and now it's like I can't sleep without it. It's now my favorite. But yeah, um, but yeah. So Sea of Stars.
All right. So my number two is one that I've love-hate relationship with, and I legitimately mean a love-hate relationship because I loved every minute of this game, but at the exact same time, I hated every minute of this game because of my knowledge in gaming with it. And I'm not even sitting here saying I'm a super smart nerd gamer, but my knowledge with this game specifically is why I hate that part of this game, and that is Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I love 7 Remake. I love 7
Yeah.
Remake.
He literally has a Buster Sword, and he has a poster, and we're excited for
Rebirth.
the rebirth. Yeah, we're so excited.
And
I'm excited.
I love 7. I loved every aspect. Like I said, I loved every minute of it. Seeing the characters I grew up with. Yes, I know I didn't. Well, I was born after its debut.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's still a phenomenal game that's literally been very influential in my gaming life.
Yeah.
And watching Rebirth Remake come out, and whenever I was 20 amidst COVID, it helped a lot with the COVID times. I played that so damn much,
Oh
and
yeah.
I loved it. I love 7 Remake so much, but I just have to bitch every time we talk about it. It's a fraction of this. It's legitimately a fraction of this, and that's why I hate the game so much. Is I spent $80 on 4 hours of this, and I'm probably gonna go spend $90 for either. And I'm hoping probably another 14 hours is my hope of this.
I feel like it. I feel like with two, here's my process, right? With it being 2 discs on PS5, I feel like it has to be.
I'm
It has
hoping.
to be. I'm hoping. I do not think they'd put like I don't know, like 4 or 5 hours on 2 discs. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of content, and it's very like it's a file heavy. There it is. It's
Yeah.
very file heavy, and it's a lot. So I imagine, like, I think that's cool. The concept of the fact that we have the PS5, the with yes, strongest console right now.
It is the
It's
strongest
not-
console. Like
it is the
legitimately.
strongest console, and it needs 2 discs. I think that's super cool.
Yep.
Like that is insanely cool. They were like, "Hey, let's go back to what Final Fantasy does with having multiple discs, and let's just do that again."
Yeah, let's see. The last time before it was 13 on the Xbox 360. Prior to that, it was Final Fantasy 9 on the PS1.
I think that's super cool. I think that is super cool.
But
Um,
yeah,
but yeah,
I loved every minute of it. I've put an ungodly amount of hours into it. The DLC was fun. Every minute of it was fun. And no matter how much I bitch at it, it's legitimately one of my favorite games I've ever played. And I'm still gonna bitch at it, but I love it. It's like a dog. It's like your dog. You love your dog to death, but fuck him.
the fact you didn't say minion.
I
I,
I know. I think we all should know at this point. I don't like Minion
yeah,
that much.
your cat, his cat. If you're new here, he has a cat named Minion, so I don't know why he went with dog instead of cat. But yeah, his
'Cause
cat.
I love my dog so much more than I love my cat, and it's because Minion pisses me off 50% of the time. Those ones out there, they're just idiots. They're idiots. So it's like, oh my god, why do I love you? Alrighty, so number one.
Number one for me, also Final Fantasy VII Remake. Final Fantasy VII Remake, I really enjoyed. I will say this, for the longest time, I've always wanted to get into Final Fantasy. I thought it was cool. From outside perspective looking in, I thought it was cool. I saw bunch of the older games. I saw information about these characters. Way later on of me knowing about it, they put him in Smash Bros. Like, it was a cool thing to see. But the problem is I never got into it. I knew a lot about it, never got into it. My literal only interaction with Final Fantasy prior to being now into it was basically the Final Fantasy collaboration they had with like Mario Sports Mix. Like that was it. Like I never really got into Final Fantasy. I knew about it, but I didn't know too much.
Did
After
you
meeting
I'm sorry, but did you see that Apex is having a crossover with Final
Yes.
Fantasy VII Rebirth?
Yes, I saw dude, I saw that.
Danger, do you want to hop into Apex for some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth action? It's the only
Don't
one.
like Apex.
It's
I don't like Apex.
I don't either. I don't either. But it's only for 7 Rebirth. You know, that's a joke. I don't wanna.
I was about to say, like, if you want to do it, we'll do it for the one time. Because I don't either, but if you want to do it for the one time, sure, for the memes. Maybe for the memes, we'll do it. But
If we get enough asking, we'll do it for the memes.
we get enough asking, because I've tried Apex multiple times.
I don't
I've tried
like
it.
Royale, so I don't worry. I don't expect it to happen.
I enjoy Royales and I enjoy first person, but Apex didn't get me. I've tried multiple times, it never got me. But yeah, so I really enjoyed the game from a person who's never played Final Fantasy, from a person who's wanted to get into it, for a person who wanted to play a game and enjoy it, for a person who doesn't really play RPGs. I've never played that many RPGs. I played I could probably tell you all of them on one hand. I didn't know what I was going to get into going into this, and I really enjoyed it. One thing about all the games I've played, I will say there are several games that I will say I have more love that like enjoyed more than Final Fantasy, but then there's a bunch of problems with each game that I feel like that could have been fixed, or a bunch of things I didn't like about a game. This one I enjoyed the entire way through. I've barely struggled with the game. I want to play it again immediately afterwards. There's only a few games on this list that I wanted to do that for. I loved the story, loved the characters, loved the gameplay. It was a mixture of the RPG style of it. I mean, it's an RPG, but also you got this free range modern gameplay effect to it. It wasn't full fledged RPG turn based style, which I enjoyed. It had the RPG aspect to like I guess we'll go with like the superhero formula of a game. So I really enjoyed it a lot. So I'm glad I got into this. I'm glad I got into it before the announcement of Rebirth, because boy oh boy, I got to play something Final Fantasy related, something Final Fantasy's coming out, and I'm extremely hyped about it. So that finally I'm getting into the enjoyment of Final Fantasy, which I've wanted to for a long time. That's one cool thing. I'm going off topic a bit about games and gamers. Whenever this like topic went forward of doing it, I was like, I will now have the potential to play a bunch of these games that I've always wanted to play but never got to yet. So I'm excited about that. So this is one of those things about
you
it.
have a nerd buddy who loves Final Fantasy.
Yep. So we now have a common ground, and we still disagree with things.
We have a common ground, but we still hate each other.
We have a common ground, yet we still complain about that common ground differently.
All right, and my number one, I'll be honest, Danger. I don't know if you remember it or not, but it's Parasite Eve.
Yep.
I love Parasite Eve. That's why.
I will. Yeah, I mean, I'll let you have your talk, but once you're done,
That's why I love Parasite Eve so much. It's legitimately probably one of my favorite PlayStation 1 games ever made. I love it enough. I have 2 sitting back there too, and it was hard to find a decent copy of 2. I loved every minute playing it because it's so like that's one thing I already talked about in the thing is it's so different. It brought such an actual difference into the gaming world because it was like survival RPG. It wasn't as bad as Resident Evil. That goes to like Kudelka. Kudelka did that part better, but they also did this one well enough that I feel like any person could hop into it. and would have fun playing it. The story's also really good too. Whenever you play it, it gets really good. You played it once, you play through it again for a second time, you'll agree with me. Playing through it once, I don't see you doing it, but you play through it a second time, I see you agreeing with me. And every bit of it too. Like the cinematics were good for the time. It was 99, 98, 99. I can't remember which, but 25 years ago, 26 years ago almost. It looks good for the age of it. Gameplay doesn't look good because they never did a remaster, but Parasite Eve was just fun from beginning to end. I loved absolutely every minute of it. And that's why it's one of my games I say everybody should play. You can play it for free on an emulator. Go play it.
I will say this. I don't think everyone would enjoy that game. Which I mean, but one thing is, there's a lot of points to where I feel like even near the end, I even explained to it on the episode near the end. I feel like that's a lot where a lot of people will either make or break with that moment of the game, and that is probably like my only problem with the game is the ending. The ending itself, no, but the gameplay part of the ending was, I think, would make and break a lot of people. But the game is good, and I will say this. I even said this. If you took a modern look, if you took like PS5 graphics, new models, looks, everything, like you just took the game itself, take away the models it has now, put a brand new model on it, you could sell it for $70, and I think a lot of people would buy it. Mm-hmm. I do think so. I think a lot of people would buy it if you just took a better modern look. It's just $70 worth of graphics on it. I think that would sell entirely. For a game that's 25 years old, that's really cool. It is similar. It is similar, and the reason I say similar is because of the order that I played it. I played Final Fantasy VII Remake first, and then later played Parasite Eve. So for me, playing Parasite Eve felt similar to playing Final Fantasy VII Remake because of the order that I played them. And even literally the way I explained it and the way my friends will also explain it because of the history of how we've seen and played these games is Parasite Eve is like a mixture of Resident Evil and Resident Evil Final Fantasy, which is a thing that I won't even argue about because I agreed with the same thing. So it's why I'm totally not against it being your first place at all. I think it's.
I also had the thought about it because I go back and listen to our episodes from time to time. Danger, you're gonna hate Dark Souls games when we eventually get to them because they have the multiple phase boss fights that whenever you die you have to restart.
That sucks.
And that's all it is, and that's all you really think about. It's a multiple phase boss fight. It's a 4-phase boss fight, but it's a phase boss fight, and you just don't like the fact that you have to restart the boss fight.
I think my problem is how long it is. I think that was my problem, was how long it lasted. That was my problem. The difficulty was okay. I think it's the health pool was way too high for how annoying and difficult it was. I think that was the only problem.
All right.
And also it was a little misleading here and there. But yeah. But I think it was fine. Again, it's a good game. I enjoyed it. My personal rating was higher than the actual game rating.
And so that's it for Games and Gamers of the Year. So we got our best two games, a remake and Parasite Eve in our opinions. Our actual 2023 Games of the Year. So these are games that released from January 1st to December 31st in 2023.
December.
Yep.
Only in December, though.
Yep, only in December. So only Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. And since I let Danger front it last time, I'm going to front this one. My number 3 is actually another tie because one of them I loved because I played the original of it, and we'll start off with that one. This is Dead Space. The Dead Space remake, I love the Dead Space remake. I had so much fun with it. I'm glad that they're trying to bring back that franchise, and they actually did very well. It's because this game is being called, I think with Resident Evil 4 it's being called like the best gaming remake ever made. Is because it's almost a 1-for-1 with a little bit added to it, not much deviation. So this is a true remake. They have some things here and there, don't get me wrong. It has its differences. But people love it, and I loved every minute of it. The graphics are good. It's not as scary as Dead Space, but probably because I played Dead Space and then the remake after. Which, you see a scary movie once and then you see a scary movie twice. It's not scary the second time because you kind of know everything that's going to happen. But I love Dead Space as entirety. Voice acting was done well. Every bit of it was fun. And it's tied for number 3. And this other number 3, Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 for one reason and one reason alone. The story. The gameplay was slightly better than the first one. It fixed some of the issues I had, but at the exact same time, it still had other issues, but we're not going to worry about that until we do Spider-Man 2. But the story, I love the story, the voice acting. Yuri Lowenthal, whatever his name is, one of those two. I loved his performance. He did really well in the game. Like from beginning to end, he did really well. I liked the story. I loved every bit of it. The graphics are, it's Spider-Man. It looks cartoonish, so it looks fine with its cartoonish style. And it's just, I had fun with the story through and through. The things with, I'm not going to go into all the details because Danger Dude over here hasn't played it, but I'll say the stuff that is public information. So, all the stuff of because with how Peter works with Harry and MJ in there because both of them are in the game. So you obviously know they're there. His relationship with Miles is done really well. Miles' relationship with his people and how he does stuff. And Venom, the overall stuff with Venom was handled really well, and I really liked it. I liked every minute of how that stuff was actually taken care of in the game. It was done phenomenally. I just wish the gameplay was better, and I may have actually had it higher. Still not a Game of the Year winner, though. Won not a single award, and I 100% agree with it. All right, your turn, Danger.
Disappointed, but also I makes sense. I went into it. I went into it hoping it won an award, but also I understand because the competition was high. The competition was very high. I will say though. While we're on the topic,
it competed with this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Two of the games that I wanted to win awards did it. Actually, three of the games I wanted to win awards. But the ones I really wanted to was Mario Wonder and Tears of the Kingdom, and both of those won awards. They only won one, but that's still, they won an award, so I think that's really cool. However, Mario didn't really have competition, but still, I think it would have won almost regardless of whatever game was out. So rules were set, and so I have to complete the game for it to count as my game of the year, which I totally understand, totally acceptable. One thing is because I want Tears of the Kingdom to be number one, but because I still haven't beaten it, even after we recorded like weeks ago, I still haven't beaten it yet. Tears of the Kingdom, I will say, will be my number one, without a doubt. I have not played it as much as these other games, but it is still, without a doubt, I love it. I love the characters, animations, everything. It's great. Love it. Can't put it at number one, though. So I had to make an exception. And both of us don't really like putting this here, but I have to, is Fortnite is my third place for Game of the Year. But I do have an actual reason, though. It is because Fortnite has released actual interesting new modes. So one thing, and here's the actual thing. You can download these modes from the shop themselves. You don't have to download Fortnite itself. You could download either the Fortnite Lego, the Fortnite Rocket Racing, or the Fortnite Music Festival. You can download these as their own games. Thing is, if you get Fortnite itself, you could play all of them, but you could just get these individual modes, which is the reason I didn't even have before, I don't think. But now that here's an actual thing of it is its own game that you can download. But Fortnite released these brand new modes. They released a brand new map. They released brand new features. They released a bunch of these things that does not play like the game used to be. It's funny because they launched this after the OG, which was how they used to be. OG was just a callback from years ago. But Fortnite is a game that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed to this day. But there's a lot of these new modes, which is very much different. And Rocket Racing has it's the built like Rocket League, built by the people of Rocket League, but it's a mode only available, it's available through Fortnite, but you could get it as its own thing. So it's like these two companies work together to make its own game. So that's why I think it counts. And Lego Fortnite is not Battle Royale at all. It is honestly not even really Fortnite at all. It is its own thing as well. So it's like Lego's version of Minecraft. So it's why, as much as I don't want it to be here, and Tears of the Kingdom would be number one, spoilers it's not, Fortnite's going to have to be third place because I need a filler. It's a game that I played, and because there's no real story to it, it's more of just a completion game. And it's just it's its own game that's not story-based, so therefore it can count. So unfortunately, I don't want it to be there. It's there.
All right, so that means in
or else I want to have it third.
You cannot use Fortnite again.
No.
They're gonna come out with Fortnite 2, and Danger will be like, Fortnite 2, baby.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they do, if they release new modes again, and I think this is the only time where I think it counts
Yeah.
because they're literally also they're gonna have a new like so this was part of the original director's team,
Yep.
Donald Mustard, but they're having a new
Mustard.
director now. Yeah, Donald Mustard. It's an amazing name. I heard his name for the first time. I'm like, that is probably one of the best names ever. But yeah, so they have a new. Now he had this planned for when he was in charge. All this was when he was in charge. But they have a new director, new games, new things, all this stuff. So I thought it was enough to count as a third slot.
That's
I'm
fair.
giving out a whole argument because I know so many people would disagree. So I'm trying to give an argument statement forward so
I mean,
that's a filler.
I'll count it just because they did release the modes and they've made Fortnite into a more of
A platform.
a brand.
Yeah.
Like Games and Gamers is a brand. We are
Yeah.
a brand, which is also
Yeah.
which is also a little hint of what we're going to talk about later. But it
Yeah.
is
Okay, so we are talking about it. Okay.
yeah. So it is going.
Okay.
So that's
That's awesome.
So this is a brand that it is, and I don't like Fortnite, but I do like the fact that they're going away from Battle Royale to making it. This is Fortnite the brand. I don't.
Battle Royale is still their lead
No,
thing,
it
and they
is.
they try to move to creative. Let me tell you this: they tried to move towards creative, and people didn't like it. People did not like that they were taking away from their base thing that they started with, because Save the World. Also, they're really trying to sell Save the World with so many bundles. So I think Save the World might be getting a revamp. I think so. Because Save the World, even though it's not free, it's in so many bundles. It's in the subscriptions. It's in bundles. You could buy it by itself with V-Bucks.
Nobody
like, they're
wants
really,
to play it.
that I know, but I think it's because they're trying to get a bunch of people to buy it because they're about to revamp it at some point. I think that's their plan.
Okay.
Because it's weird. They randomly, for the last year or two, have been really selling it when there's been no updates. So I think that's what it is. I think that they plan on doing something.
And that's why I'll allow it to count, is because they're doing something different with it, and I'm fine with it. But am I good for my number 2?
Yeah, yeah.
So my number 2 has probably one of my favorite sections. I want to probably put it maybe my third favorite gaming section ever. And that's behind, I'll spoil this because we'll eventually do it, is behind Final Fantasy X sending for the first time. And I can't even spoil it. It's a scene in Kingdom Hearts 1. And that is Alan Wake 2's Herald of Darkness musical. Middle of this horror game, this psychological horror game, and a fucking musical breaks out. It's amazing.
That's the true psychological part.
Dude, we're gonna have to play it, and you're not gonna know what's coming. There's no hint. There's no build up. It just
happens.
It just happens.
What? I think that'd break a bunch of people mentally.
No, it has not. People loved it. That's so many people love it because of that.
They did it at the Game Awards.
Yeah, the Herald of fucking Darkness.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
Did you hear the song at least?
Yeah, I did. I did watch it. Yeah.
What'd you think?
I mean, it's good. It sounds good. It looked fun. They looked like they were having fun with it. Absolutely.
Show me
like
the champion of light. I'll show you the herald of darkness.
I was like, this is actually in the game. It's so funny. It's so weird because it's nothing like I've seen from Alan Wake. But yeah.
But outside of the Herald of Darkness, I loved Alan Wake because it's a good horror game. I saw somebody, I don't know who it was, maybe Game Rant, something like that, earlier today, legitimately about 3 hours ago, saying that Alan Wake's a bad horror game because it got filled with too many jump scares, which is so wrong. It's wrong. Alan Wake doesn't have a lot of jump scares. You can be jump scared because enemies can come at you in the darkness. But overall, it doesn't have a ton of jump scares to it. So it's done really well. Story's fun. I don't care for Saga in any capacity because of the beginning. That's not true. I like Saga. She's not my favorite. Alan's definitely the favorite.
Do you want to explain your reasoning again? Because the video's gone. Do you want to explain it again real quick?
If you go listen to the Alien Isolation video, I actually
do explain it there as well?
But I'll explain it again for those who haven't heard the Alien Isolation episode. So my biggest issue when it comes down to Saga is something that happens early on in the game. I've told Danger this. It's so insignificant to the plot, overall arcing plot, that it's not spoilers for him, even though it kind of is, but he's weird with spoilers, so I don't know. And so beginning of the game, there is a murder. I'm not going to say who, but somebody dies. And when somebody dies, Saga has to go investigate. She's FBI. She goes, look, crime scene, sees all this stuff, and then she hears, okay, there's eyewitnesses that saw what happened, saw the last minute of this man. She goes to the diner, the Oh Deer Diner. That's actually called the Oh Deer. They have a thing called Deer Fest in Shallow Falls. Yeah, Bright Falls. Yeah. But they have an actual thing called Deer Fest, and the Oh Deer Diner is part of it. But she goes to the Oh Deer Diner, finds these two, and they're like, oh yeah, we saw him, he was naked. Then some random dudes in masks started chasing him. It was really weird. And hold on, we also found a husband and wife, and the wife hushes him. Because they're like journalists of some weird sort. They're like bloggers. They're bloggers. They're the worst kind of people. They're bloggers. I hope I offended every blogger out there. And she's like, shush, don't tell it. It gives no inclination, no hint whatsoever of what they found. But they found something, or they're holding information. That's 100% given. So Saga, being Sherlock fucking Holmes on steroids, sits there and it's like, they're hiding something from me. You know what? They're probably hiding a necklace that looks like a pine tree made out of 2 triangles. It's solid gold. It's like 24 karat gold. Its chain is exactly 36 inches around. It was buried underneath mud and leaves 4 foot from where a dude died. They wiped it off using Clorox bleach and alcohol, and then dipped it into liquid copper to bring out the shine. That she goes that in depth with it. It's not that in depth, but there's no give on why she should know this thing exists. But she's like, hey, you should give me that necklace you found. Oh, how'd you know there was a necklace? And it's something small that pisses me off.
I think what would have been cool is if there were actual clues around the map to give this information. What you're supposed to do is you are supposed to go out of your way to kind of look at these things and keep eye of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, let's say you're kind of looking, let's say your camera's like this, right? Let's say your camera's facing forward, like you're behind me, you're kind of looking around. My character would be able to spot some of these things, but the camera doesn't. The ability is that this character has basically able to see. Okay, apparently you just found or see something.
No, my door just opened. Hi, minion. You scared the fuck out of me.
Talk about a horror game. Your door just opened.
No, I'm not even lying. I heard something like a thud. It's like, what the fuck was that? My door just.
It just slowly opens.
Yep. But yeah, that's like the only issue, and we're gonna use the game Detroit Become Human, because Detroit Become Human, as you play the game, you get dialogue aspects, and as you learn more, you unlock dialogue parts. That's how this game should have been, and maybe I've only played it once at this point. I want to play it again because I have New Game Plus, but maybe I missed it. But you'd think that at least Saga or Alex Casey would have pointed out, hey, Saga, go look at that.
Yeah, like kind of directed to where you could have. And here's the thing, and like it would be interesting to where the cutscene, even like for the cutscene of how she's saying these things, it shows you where they are. And if you do play it again, they are all in that place. It's just she was able to point it out. And there's like, what connected these together? Well, this thing, and like the cutscene point, like it's the cutscene would point it out. But if you go back, it was actually there. So it's just this character was able to see everything and be able to put it all together.
And I guess what's worse is she doesn't even do it because she has their conversation in her head. Like imagine your brother is trying to figure out what we said, and he takes one clue and then he hears word for word the conversation we had.
Yeah, that's
head.
dumb.
That's dumb. I don't care. Saga's fine.
Yeah.
She's fine character, but that's dumb.
Yeah, it would have been better. It would have been better if like you took all the clues, the information they said, and you would be interesting. You have to like they're around, right? You have to listen to what everyone's saying, but then you figure out like where they've been, and you're able to take the information that they've been saying, put it all together to where you're kind of missing these pieces, but you can assume these pieces like as they're talking, but then it's cut out, and then she then fills it. She says what she thinks it is. And then it kind of fills it out together.
Exactly.
It's like by knowing this information and hearing what y'all said, I can put the missing pieces together. And it'd be like Until Dawn, how you got to find different pieces of a thing. It'd be like that. It's
That's
like
why you
here's what y'all said.
Is
Here's
that's
what
a
y'all said. Here's the clues. Put them together. Here's how it all goes. And then it would have been interesting. It would have
yeah.
made more sense.
It would have.
I feel like that would have worked.
It would have made so much more sense. But I loved Alan Wake. It was fun. It
It would
looked.
have been her. It would have been interesting for her exclusive part. It's what she does.
Yep.
That's her gimmick.
And it was.
So
And
it
game
would
was
have been
very
cool.
pretty too. I'm not gonna lie. Game was very pretty.
That's what I've heard. I've heard the game looks really good.
I've seen a lot of things right now. Is that PS5 is finally getting utilized in 2023
To its yeah.
because you have a lot of games out there that are fully like we'll use Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I've heard that. I've heard many people. I haven't played it yet. I've heard that people still say that's the best looking PS5 game out there. You have games like Final Fantasy 16. I'm not a fanboy for 16. I love the game, but this is legitimately one of the best looking games I've ever seen. You have what else was there? What else was there? Alan Wake 2. The games are finally starting to utilize what the consoles can actually do because now PS5 is becoming more accessible around the world. So they're finally utilizing what the PS5 can actually do.
I'm excited for Sparking Zero because it's going to be next gen exclusive. I know that's kind of off topic, but that's what you were saying about it's being pushed forward. I just wanted to point it out.
Watch it
because
look
it's gonna be...
bad. Watch it look. Watch it.
Oh, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. 15 years and next gen exclusive.
Watch
It is
look
unacceptable.
Watch it look like Battle of Z.
Oh no.
Or Raging.
So am I good
Blast.
for my game of the, or my next game?
Yeah,
My
you're
second
number 2.
place?
Yep.
Number 2, Street Fighter 6. Now again, I've actually only played 3 of the new games from this year, but Street Fighter 6, because I'm forced to put 4 in, Street Fighter 6 would have been third, but it is second place because of how things went. Street Fighter I really enjoyed it. My friend Tyler, he gave it to me as a gift, so I'd be able to play it with him because he didn't really have anyone to be able to play it. And so he went ahead and gave it to me. He's like, "Hey, if you want to try it out, it's a cool game. If you want to try it," and I went, "Sure." So he gave it to me. I played it, and I really enjoyed it. I'll let you know that I'm not the biggest fighting game guy. I could probably put all the fighting games I've played on my 2 hands, and I enjoy fighting. I enjoy just cat. Yeah, just cat acquired.
It's not even that. You just see the black. You just see.
The void. You just pick up a void. But Street Fighter 6 is a game that I think is really cool. It basically has... Okay, I'm going to put in comparison Smash Bros. It's a game that anyone could have been able to pick up, and it's a really fun and enjoyable game. But also for the competitive scene, not only is there a lot you can do competitive-wise, but there's different sets of controls that it gets harder to control, but you're more optimized for combos and stuff for all these better players. So it is kind of like skill depending on each person. So if you start and you're not a guy who plays fighting games, you can start with the brand new modern controls. You can play with the classic controls. I don't know which one of these it is for classic. And then there's another option. There's like 3 sets of controls you're able to do per person. And so I feel like it's a game that almost anyone can get into, whether you're a fighting game person or not. You can choose your level based off of your skill that you have. You can create your own character, which, by the way, the character customization, insane. Like, one thing is if you give me character customization, I could literally play the game for hours with just that alone. I literally have spent hours in total of just character customization, dude. It is a lot. It is insane. Honestly, funny enough, I wish they added more. I wish there was more options, but that's like insane because there's a lot of options for your characters. And the way you make your character actually affects the game. The weight class, their reach, the way you make them, it actually affects the game. So you can make your character look goofy or look cool, and it can actually affect how they work. So I thought it was super cool. The story was interesting. It wasn't like the best story in the world, but it wasn't a bad story. It was an interesting story for your character. You're basically this brand new fighter, and you want to try to learn from a bunch of these masters and try to perfect and hone your own skill. You learn from this person, learn from that person. You know, you're just trying to figure out what suits for you. And that was basically the whole game. The whole game is learn from all these people, but find out what works. Don't try to just copy someone. Try to figure out what works for you. Get your own play style, and that's basically what it is. You make a character, you take these moves from all these people, and you make your own combinations and skills that you think work out. And unfortunately, one thing that I don't like that was with Street Fighter 6 is the battle pass system that they have, but it's purely cosmetic. The battle passes is purely cosmetic. You don't have to get it. It doesn't affect how you play the game at all. they've already released 3 characters now. I believe they've released 2 or 3 characters now, which is like super cool, and they're releasing another one soon. So Street Fighter, I enjoyed a lot. A lot of people also Street Fighter 6. It won an award at the Game Awards. It did win a game of for Game of the Year. I think it was best. I think it was best fighting game.
Makes sense.
And one thing is a lot of people said, even someone in your server was talking about how oh man, Mortal Kombat should have won. It like was close with it. Literally, this is the same thing as if I like all the people that say Spider-Man should have won, it could have won. It's a very similar situation with Mortal Kombat. The story was okay. This Mortal Kombat story wasn't the best story in the world. One thing is there's a few issues with Mortal Kombat itself of the game. The game feels very stiff, and also one thing that they do is Mortal Kombat has had a problem for a long time, which is what Fortnite does, is they try to do these collabs, which are super cool, and I honestly don't really see as much of a problem. But the problem is literally for Street Fighter's DLC, they're all original characters or characters from previous games. So it's Street Fighter. All the thing is Street Fighter. Literally a third of the things for Mortal Kombat that's coming out is collaboration. It's over a long period of time, so you're not even getting it immediately, which is fine. It's whatever. But the gameplay is much different. The gameplay is not. There's a lot of things to where, oh, you look at it and it's like, oh, it's easier to get into. It's the skill range is here. Mortal Kombat can be hard, but once you learn it, you're kind of just stuck. Street Fighter is easier to get into, and there's more competitive range for people. And so it's why for a fighting game, Mortal Kombat's better. For story, I do give it a Mortal Kombat for story, but the looks, the flash, the flare, the movement, the freedom, Street Fighter has all that.
I'll give
And
looks to Mortal Kombat. I'll give looks to Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat's kind of like Mortal Kombat looks cool. It's also very kind of stiff. It's kind of stiff. I will tell you this: like I've watched my friend play. I've watched Tyler play it 3 times. I've played it a bit, and I have watched gameplay and stuff. People talk about it. There's a lot more towards love, freedom, and like just playability with Street Fighter than there is Mortal Kombat. And so it's why I think without a doubt, Street Fighter just washes Mortal Kombat. And I was not surprised whenever Street Fighter 6 won.
That's fair.
But I'm bringing it up because there was like multiple people that were talking about how Mortal Kombat should have won, or that it was like, I don't know how someone in your server used the term like it was glazed, like it was like, oh, like it was shown better. Like it wasn't. It really wasn't. But yeah, Street Fighter 6 is a really good game. Funny enough, what made me love the game so much is whenever I was playing it, one of the first things I found was it basically someone took like 2 ties and made it like a red X, and it was a cosmetic you got early in the game. So I was able to create like I was able to make a Danger X outfit for myself, literally barely playing the game. I was like, oh, I love it. Oh, it's great. So it is a very fun game.
Am I good for my number one?
Go for it.
I think people who've listened to Games and Gamers, the avid fans, and Danger too, know what my number one
without
is.
a doubt. Without a doubt. I knew it was.
Yep. It's Baldur's Gate.
Uh-huh.
I can't even talk about it. I don't know if I told you, but I got to play Baldur's Gate when I was down in Louisiana. It's Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not going to go spend $60-$70 to play Dungeons and Dragons when here in about 5 hours I'll be playing Dungeons and Dragons for free.
Yeah.
But number one game actually is Final. Ooh, I'm sorry, I mean, anybody did this case scare you? I'm sorry. Is Final Fantasy 16. I was hyped for 16. I got hyped for Final Fantasy 15 because I put so much with it, but the game fell short. I personally believe Final Fantasy 16 should have got the 15 treatment, had a movie, had anime adaptations, had all sorts of media going with it. Because 16 was such a good game. I had so much fun with it from beginning to end. There's a Facebook group I'm in. We're going to bring back the hate of the Facebook groups. There's a guy in there who he's a troll and is English fucking sucks. And I'm using this as a point, actual in there, because anybody talks on any game. This is people like him are why I don't want to play Baldur's Gate. People like him should I say his name? Dangerous, should I say his name?
No, I won't. No.
Asshole.
If it's on you, okay, sure. Yeah, just
asshole here. You could literally be like, okay, I'm playing The Bouncer. We use the PS2 game The Bouncer. It's like, oh, The Bouncer? Bouncer is better than Final Fantasy 16. Gameplay fine. Game bad. Better than DMC. Worse than DMC. And it's any time you mention any game, it's there. But 16 was so good. The voice acting was done well. The cinematics were done so perfectly. It's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. I was hyped every minute of the game. That's why I played it for like a week straight.
oh yeah, yep.
And I streamed it for like almost a week straight. I loved every minute of the game. Every bit of it. The only thing I would really complain is the combat, because it does get repetitive. Outside of that, that's the only actual complaint I have for the game. And that's after 3 playthroughs. It's so good. Okay, I have one complaint actually on one of the later bosses, but gameplay wise is it's done really well. It's
I gotta. Sorry, go ahead. You finish.
It's literally what I think the epitome of how Final Fantasy should start going. Is people are bitching that it's not turn based. I hate to say it, people. We're not in the 2000s anymore. We're not in the 90s. Turn based, as much as I love turn based, don't get me wrong, is a dying art. There are some games that use it. Don't get me, like I said, there's a fact. That's a fact. Games still use it. Sea of Stars was turn based. It's turn-based and a different kind of turn-based. But turn-based, as much as I love turn-based games, is a dying art. I cannot think of many games out there that actually utilize it. Pokemon's 1, Baldur's Gate used it for 2, and Sea of Stars for 3. And that's like, and I'm sure there's indie games that do it. I don't know. I'm not caught up with the full indie game stuff because I don't have a PC that does all the indie games. But turn-based is a dying art. I personally feel like if they did like the combat of Final Fantasy VII mixed with this, it would have made this game a 10 out of 10 for a lot of people. But unfortunately, they did it like DMC wise, and it's fine. It gets a little repetitive after a little while. But 16 was just such a good game. Like, I think, in my opinion, it blew every other game made in 2023 out of the water. And I've played Spider-Man 2. I've played Tears of the Kingdom. I've played Baldur's Gate. When I was in Louisiana, I got to play Mario Wonder. I've played Alan Wake. I've played all these games, some of the bigger games that were released. I haven't played Avatar's Frontiers of Pandora, but that's Far Cry, so I'm not going to act as if it tops it in any way. I think this one here, this game just blew everything out of the water from beginning to end. And that's why I think it's literally it's my number one game of 2023.
Can I tell you that there was literally zero doubt that this was your game, and the fact that before we even made, I'm gonna let you all know on something real quick, all right? So one thing is he's played all 3 of these games, right? And in the order, wasn't it Final Fantasy, Dead Space, then Alan Wake 2?
No.
Was it in this? Was it you played Dead Space before Final Fantasy?
Yes.
I thought you played Final Fantasy beforehand. I swear it was Final Fantasy Dead Space, because then you played Dead Space and you said, this might be my game of the year.
No, I played through it again the second time when I was making the thing.
Okay. But yeah, so he played Dead Space, Final Fantasy, and thing. Here's the thing. When he played Final Fantasy, right? He played Final Fantasy 16. He talked about it forever before it even came out. He talked about it every single day, both in the server and to me, almost every single day, talking about it. Anytime we were on the phone, he was talking about it. He said he would mail it to me. He wanted to play it last year. It's now 2024. He wanted to play it last year, like around when it came out. He was like, I will. He's like, we are playing this. We are getting this done whenever I say we're doing it. And if you don't have it, I'm mailing it to you. Heck, I'll bring it over. But we are playing this. He has wanted to play it so badly. He loves this. You want to stop talking about it? He made a stream. You did stream it, right? Didn't you do a bunch of streams about it? He streamed it. Like, he was just, this was it. This was all the subject was. Like nothing else.
I was playing them simultaneously. I was playing the Dead Space remake and Final Fantasy 16 simultaneously.
When you know what happens when you play Dead Space? maybe told me once or twice about it.
Well,
He mentioned it a little
I
bit.
know you want to play
He,
Dead Space. I know you've wanted to play Dead Space, and at the time you weren't
yeah,
super big into the Final Fantasy
yeah,
aspect.
yeah. But it's just like he. But even like in your earlier server, and everything, he like mentioned it here. He thought it was cool. He thought it was interesting. You know, never mentioned we'd ever play it on Games and Gamers. He played on his channel. It was cool. He had fun with it. Literally, he was like, you know, this might game. This might be my game of the year. You know, This might be it. I'm just like, no, the fuck, it's not. No, it is not. It is Final Fantasy. And whenever we do the games of the year episode, I'm ready to hear Final Fantasy. Even after Alan Wake 2 came out, even after he said it was going to be hard, and I will understand. I will say, you did talk about Alan Wake 2 way more, about talking about it, reviewing it, saying we wanted to play it. You even wanted me to kind of just know about it because you didn't even know if we were going to do it. I know you want to, so I want to play Alan Wake 1, then we could play Alan Wake 2. So I knew you wanted to do it. So I was like, yeah, we need to. That is the plan. So, but that's why it's like, we were like, that's what, even after he mentioned Alan Wake 2, I was still like, no, it's not. It's not going to be your game of the year. It's going to be Final Fantasy 16.
The Herald of Darkness made a very compelling argument. This is a
Compelling
genuine
argument.
fact. This is a genuine
Compelling
fact.
argument, but Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, 16,
so
100%, but...
Yeah, it being Final Fantasy 16, and after everything he talked, literally, out of all that I've known him, I have never seen him fanboy for such a long period on one subject for that long in the time that I've known him. He has fanboyed about things before, but it's never been for like so long of a period.
It was only like 3 weeks.
3 weeks about one subject, and Dokkan maybe. Like, there were Dokkan here and there, but it was just Final Fantasy. Your channel pretty much was just nothing. It was nothing but Final Fantasy.
And Dead Space. I had Dead Space going at the exact same time.
And Dead Space, but again, already knew Dead Space was not good.
Well, Dead Space was 100%, but Dead Space was fun. But
yeah, Final Fantasy. Oh yeah, I want to play it at some point, and we're totally going to at some point.
Yep, we're going to.
At one point,
I assure you.
We're going again. No matter what, we're going to. We're going to figure out.
I'm telling you, this year, if we don't, we're gonna have problems.
We're gonna have problems this year. Yeah. But
all right.
Game of the year. Number 1 for Game of the Year is Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars is my Game of the Year. It would have been second place, but again, because Tears of the Kingdom, I haven't fully beaten it yet. Even though literally in 10 hours of Tears of the Kingdom, I was like, oh yeah, it washes Sea of Stars. There's just nope, can't do it. But yeah, no. Sea of Stars is my game of the year. Again, we made an entire video about it. But yeah, I really loved it. I love the music. I love the characters. I love the art style. The map's amazing. I love the stories that were in there, the little hint things. There's a bunch of stuff I was missing out on. The way they introduced like patrons into the game, of how they sort of had a temple area for them.
They changed one of them.
They did. Oh no, they did change a character. Yeah, they changed a character in the game.
Yeah,
we're not gonna go in. We're not gonna go into it. But yeah, I'm sure anyone who does know knows.
I don't know why. I didn't realize he was anything. I was just some random dude.
I didn't realize he was either. Yeah, there's one character who is actually a person. But we're not gonna go into it because of the reasons of why they said they got him out of the game, which they were. I will say it was a thing. It was an allegations thing. But okay. So they did remove him. Okay, but they had Sea of Stars had a lot of updates recently. Like, I still have it on my PlayStation because again, I want to play it again. It's like every week there's like it tells me it got updated. I'm like, that's weird. It keeps updated. So I wonder what maybe when I visit it in like in a month or two, maybe they'll have a lot different. But Sea of Stars, I really did enjoy. It could have been on all of these lists, it could have been number 1. It just has way too many problems. And that sucks. It really does suck. I mean, I enjoyed it way more than Street Fighter. I enjoyed it than a bunch of games that I've played. But the ending, the way a bunch of characters went, the main characters, it sucks. It really does suck. I wanted this game. This game also, the music, dude. I will tell you, somebody remixed like a lot of the. I sent it to you. They remixed the music. It's like orchestrated versions, and dude, it's so good. I love the orchestrated versions of Sea of Stars music. It's so good. I love it to this day. But yeah, Sea of Stars is my game of the year because Tears of the Kingdom is not valid. But if we did allow it, Tears of the Kingdom is my true game of the year. But well, I'll have to wait till I beat it to even count it. But to anyone listening, literally in like a week, the answer can be changed to where it's Tears of the Kingdom. So.
Fair. So whenever he's randomly on one of our episodes going to be like, I beat Tears of the Kingdom, just knock everything down and put Tears of the Kingdom at the top.
Get Fortnite out of there.
Good.
Sea of Stars is 2. I wanted to be out of there, but we have rules.
Yep.
But yeah, it'd be Street Fighter 6, Sea of Stars, and Tears of the Kingdom. But because of the thing, Fortnite's third because of the rules.
Yeah. And
which I think the argument's fair. And then these others, mine we can fly through on mine, but you go through yours because you actually have different answers.
Yeah, I'll let you go through your 3, and I'll go through my 3.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go through my 3. So this is played this year, game of the year. So it's a game that no, it doesn't matter when it came out, but this year, which was last year, it came out like we played it that year. We never played it prior.
We played it in the year of 2023, and it did not have to release in 2023.
Yeah. So for that, I'm gonna change an answer. I'm actually going to change an answer. My original answer for number 3 was Street Fighter 6. That was my third. I'm changing it. I'm changing that to Plague Tale Innocence. Plague Tale Innocence is my number 3 game. Street Fighter 6 is really fun and I enjoy it, and I see myself playing Street Fighter 6 for a long time. But the story of it is really good. Now, one thing is I want to put in a like Street Fighter for like it's the game of the year, and so many other games could probably take that place. But for Plague Tale Innocence, it's the first game I played that year. I think it's more enjoyable than Street Fighter 6. And for games and gamers, it is higher on my list, but Street Fighter 6 isn't even on that list, and so that's why it would still be below anyway. But I think Plague Tale Innocence is a really good game, and so I didn't really talk about it like for last time because I wasn't on there. But I have a playthrough on my channel. I didn't really do too much commentating because, yeah, it was my first full-fledged actual playthrough I was trying to get through. And I noticed because I'm so invested in the story and focusing on the story and the gameplay, I don't really do too much commentating, even as either a bit or my opinion. I kind of just talk about what's on my mind or like sort of what I'm thinking. I'm trying to get better at commentating, so I think as I do more series, I'll get better at that part. But Plague Tale Innocence was a very fun game. I think the story was great. The gameplay was fun. I'm trying to think of what game it reminded me of. I don't know. It gives a similar, like The Last of Us, but I'm wondering if there's a different game in my mind. But if I was to say any game, The Last of Us, it is very similar to that. Instead of zombies, it's rats. And it is a very, very enjoyable game. And I would say I feel like everyone should be able to play at least once because it's a good game. It's not that long of a game, and it looks great.
Yep.
The game looks great, and I was satisfied throughout the game. I don't really think I had any problems with the game. It's just there's gameplays that I prefer more, and there's stories that I prefer more. But all in all, it's a good game. I don't really have any complaints towards it at all. So Plague Tale Innocence is my number 3. Number 2 of games played last year. It was this year at the time we recorded, but of last year, number 2 is Sea of Stars. Again, love it a lot. I feel like I've talked about that enough. And then number 1, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, that's fair. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a really good game. Even if I bitch at it, it's a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and Resident Evil Remastered, even though I only played it for a bit, I did play it before last year. I did do an hour or 2 or 3 hours maybe.
You started in 2022 at 11:58, and it's like, damn it, I started in 22.
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah, that's why Resident Evil isn't here, but also Street Fighter wasn't played on the channel, and it's not there, and even if it was, so that's why Plague Tale Innocence is just weird. It's on this one, but yeah, Plague Tale Innocence is 3, Sea of Stars is 2, and Final Fantasy VII Remake is 1.
Alrighty, and so when it comes down
to
I
feel like, 3 videos of talk about Final Fantasy, so I feel like I'm at a point to where I've given enough info of my take on it, and we'll talk about it more in Rebirth. So it's like,
God, I don't think you understand. Actually, another thing we can also add a quick 2 minutes is our favorite game or upcoming games we want to play. We're excited for 2024.
I would finish your list.
No, I'm going to. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, but after that, our games of most looking forward to,
our upcoming
by the way,
24.
Yeah, I feel like the answer's obvious because I think it actually even won that award. I think it did.
It sure as fuck did.
I feel like our answer. I feel like we already know.
As fuck did.
I feel like the answer's obvious, but yeah, what's your list?
Hold on. It sure As fuck did. So, my 3 games are, one of them I'm going to also spoil, it's something I've already talked about on this list. But my third favorite game that I played that I've never played was Gears of War. I wanted to get into the Gears of War franchise for about 10 years now, actually. And prior to this, I didn't have access to it. I didn't have a job, so I couldn't just go buy the games like I do now. But I got it and I loved it. I've wanted to get into the whole franchise for a long time. The lore of it's kind of cool. It gets really cool in the later games, but the first one's really cool. And if you go watch my Let's Play on it, I bitched at some moments. Don't get me wrong, because it's like a 2006, 2007 game. Its AI was horrendous. Like Danger, you need to go watch like episode 2. Is where I lose my mind. Is literally what it's titled. Whatever it is, I legitimately lose my mind because the AI is so bad and it gets me killed so many times. Not a joke. But I loved Gears of War. The voice acting was done really well. All of it was fun. For being an older game, it looks well, and I enjoyed it from beginning to almost end. I had complaints, don't get me wrong, but it was a very enjoyable game. Number 2 is Final Fantasy 16 for obvious reasons. I love Final Fantasy 16. It's legitimately my favorite game of 2023. My second favorite game, Final Fantasy game behind 9, and probably my 5th favorite Square Enix game of all time. That could change if I do a 4th playthrough. Who knows? it ain't changing. If anything, it's getting higher. But I love 16 for its entirety, and I want to talk about it, but I can't because Danger has not played it, and I don't want to spoil the fun of it. But I'm giving it was fun from beginning to end. Music was great. It's why it won Best Soundtrack of the Year. Cinematics were beautiful. Voice acting was well done. Every bit of it was enjoyable, and that's why I love it so much. And my number one game is one we have not talked about much on this channel in any capacity. I haven't even said I've played it on the channel. But that's Plague Tale Requiem. So I wanted to play Plague Tale Innocence on the channel because I love the Plague Tale series. Innocence blew me away. Requiem, you compare to how much Innocence blew me away and how Requiem blew me away, Innocence does not even compare. Even to like 16 versus, I love 16. It's my 2023 release game of the year. Requiem blew 16 out of the water. It is such a good game. The voice acting is done so well. And after you play it, you think back in the first game, because some things that happen in the first game make an appearance in the second one, and it's handled so well. Like, I apologize, Danger. Like Amicia.
No,
Like Amicia in the first game does not have any time to breathe with the shit that goes on in her life. Like, shit happens and she cannot take a breath, and it gives her severe brain, like mental health damage. And in 2 is done so well. Her character, she, like, early on in the game, she looks at a fire and she has every thought of the first game going through her head. Later on in the game, she feels powerless. She goes on an absolute power killing spree. She fights one of the big bads later on in the game, and she's in a depression, and this game handles it so well. She's in the depression not because she's depressed. She's in a depression she doesn't know what to do next, and that's why it's handled so well. It blew me out of the water. The ending legitimately made me cry. Every minute of it was so fucking perfect. If I had to give a 10 out of 10, Requiem will probably be my first.
we good? Hold on.
Yes, we're good. We're good. We are 100%.
Okay. I will say you did. I do think you mentioned it during the Innocence episode, because I think you played Innocence and Requiem before I even finished my.
Oh, I probably did. I'm just saying I haven't talked about it. It's one of those ones like I'll mention a game every episode or something like that. I think a Requiem got mentioned.
One thing is, and I even started thinking about it because I really did enjoy Innocence a lot. I realized, what is it down to the core that made me actually enjoy Sea of Stars more than Innocence? And I love the gameplay of Sea of Stars. The Sea of Stars, the gameplay I enjoyed a lot more, and the massive world of Sea of Stars I enjoyed a lot, and all the characters, the monsters, the enemies, the typings, all that stuff. That's what it is. So as cool as it is, and I like there's an argument to Sea of Stars when I haven't even completed everything. To when Plague Tale Innocence, I pretty much got everything I can do, and when I got everything I can do, seen everything there is. Sea of Stars still has more that I
Yeah,
can
it's open
advance
world
on, and
RPG versus a
yeah,
linear
there's
story
so much.
game.
There's a bunch of stuff that I can still advance. Yeah, so I mean, so honestly, like you could make arguments to kind of switch them if you want to, but I'm gonna stick with Innocence being, and I enjoyed it a lot. I really did enjoy Innocence a lot. It's a really good story. The gameplay is not my favorite, but the story is amazing. I don't even know about Requiem.
Oh god, I mean the gameplay doesn't
Requiem, it,
gameplay doesn't
Requiem
change
is a
too
game.
much,
Hopefully, yeah, I imagine. I imagine
but
it's just a.
it's
Also, I realized something, and I want to talk about it, but we might. I think it's kind of something I kind of went on in our next episode, but I talked about more in depth in there. But it's something I thought of again, after you mentioned Spider-Man. But we could talk about it later because I'm very, very confident you're probably gonna bleep out what I said earlier or just cut it out.
maybe
So
I don't
I'm
know.
not gonna
We're
mention
have to
next
wait and
episode.
see. So,
I'm not gonna mention next episode.
and then we also have
later.
our
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 our most
upcoming games of
expected
2024.
game, yeah. Upcoming game.
Alright.
Can y'all take a guess? I'll give you a hint. It won the award at Game of the Year. It won the
You know
Game
what?
Award for.
You know what? That's one of them. I have 3 that I'm excited for.
Okay, but say one though. I know you have more than one. Obviously, I have more than one.
Oh,
but
number
what's
one.
your number one?
Oh, gee. What could it be? I'm thinking of all 3 of them. What could it be? Because that one looks really cool. It actually had a really cool intro to it. That one got mentioned once, but never got said again. And this one just, oh my god! It even has a musical that happens in it too. Did you?
Anyway, so
Did you know that Final Fantasy VII's gonna have a musical moment?
oh yeah. They literally showed it. They had a live performance. Yeah,
Number one. Okay,
Number one.
theoretically number 1. It says a theoretical number 1.
No, it is number one due to the fact of the knowledge that we have.
It's
That's the game we're more interested in.
It's that's what I was saying. It's theoretical. Is out of what we know is coming, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is my number 1. But
Same.
But I do not know because Square Enix does their own weird thing because you never know. If I don't expect it to be, but let's say hypothetically, if Kingdom Hearts 4 gets released this year, I'm hyped up for Missing Link. Don't get me wrong, but it's not one of them. But if Kingdom Hearts 4 gets released this year, I'm gonna forget every minute of Rebirth because I'm a Final Fantasy nerd, but my favorite franchise is Kingdom Hearts. So if Kingdom Hearts comes out, it's done. It's 100%
Can I be completely
done.
honest with you?
Yeah.
This was a while back. Whenever you mentioned it again at some point, I completely forgot that Kingdom Hearts 4 was going to be a thing.
Because it got announced
completely forgot.
once. It's been announced
Yeah,
once.
it got announced once forever. I still lived at the other house when it got announced. Like it was forever. Yeah, it was. We lived at the other house and I saw it, and then months later we moved, and it's been over a year since we moved. So it's been a long time.
Nothing ever tops the 2013 reveal and then not getting the game released until like 2019. Nothing's gonna top that.
But
My other
so my number one's Rebirth. You could say your other two.
yeah,
and
you know
I'll say
we'll just
mine
go back
too.
and forth. We're nearing the end.
Okay. So one thing is my release. Oh yeah, we are actually almost at time, even though we extended it. Geez, we have 4 minutes and I'm streaming.
Oh, we gotta go. We gotta blow through this fit.
We gotta
fast
go.
because
We gotta
also
go.
have this.
We gotta go. Yeah. Wukong. It was was it like Wukong Myth? It was. I think it was like
Black Myth
Wukong.
Wukong.
Black Myth Wukong. Super excited. I remember when they showed gameplay for like the first little area forever ago, and immediately like I want to play it. I've thought Wukong is super cool, but I've really been interested in it, and this game looks absolutely amazing. I'm super excited for it. And then there's the horror game that has been talked about that's going to be coming out, and I saw just a little animation for it, and I am super excited about what it could be. OD.
Oh, that's not at all what I thought you were about to say. I thought you were about to say the Mickey Mouse horror game that got announced this morning.
No. Because again, this is from last year. I'm super.
No, this upcoming
yeah.
games are hyped out in 2024.
Oh, okay. I was talking about last, like it was within last year. If it's anything after this, but yeah, OD. I think that's super cool. They got like literally the developer. He said it's like he got the Avengers of creators together. Like he got a whole bunch of incredibly famous, incredibly good, super amazing like creators. He got them all together and he calls them the Avengers, and it's like that's so cool. I don't know anything about this, and that's why I'm putting it in third place of my hype. But I'm excited.
I'm excited for OD too. I like the
I'm
open.
also excited for the Super Peach game. I think that's cool. That's just my Nintendo side. I think it's cool.
OD kind of I want to know more about it, but I'm hyped up to see how that one goes because that was handled really cool. As they just have the voice acting with the motion capture, which is amazing because that's motion
Oh
capture
yeah,
and that looks so
dude,
real.
I saw it and I'm like, bro, it looks amazing. It looks amazing, dude. Please, if you haven't seen it, go watch the
Yeah, you know
clip.
what?
It is insane.
Future Hayden, test the
Don't,
waters. Test the waters, future
don't,
Hayden.
don't do it. This needs to be out within like 0.4 hours. Don't do it.
Oh please! You think I can't get this done tonight? But OD, I like the little hope. Honestly, yeah, go watch a trailer of it. It's really cool. It's handled really well. Honestly, for the fact it's like maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes long. And what's her name? Sophia Lilius, whatever her name is. She plays the redhead in It, and she plays in the Dungeons and Dragons movie. But she looks well, and then the fear she has in the after bit, and I love the reflection because
The reflection in her eye. You don't even know. You just know something kind of went around the corner. And the fact that they recreated it for the reveal of the creator, that was cool. With
it
the
was done
door,
well.
the whole theme is there's something beyond a door.
And
That's
people
the whole
are
theme.
and people are thinking it fits in the universe of PT, the Silent Hills game, because somebody did something. The older guy had like a noticeable like in his because his tongue he has that weird thing where the tongue kind of gets weird cracks in it as you get older. Has like a moment of that actually changing of going like showing PT in it. I don't know if that's somebody being super like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, write this down, write this down, write this down, or if it's the
Yeah,
actual thing because it
probably.
shows detail of PT in there, which is really
Probably.
cool. And then
Who knows? Who knows? Hey, imagine if they actually did go back into PT again. Like that'd be interesting. They could literally just re-release the game as is, and a lot of people wouldn't play it and enjoy
I'd
it.
love to play PT again. I don't think
I
you
don't understand why they took it down. I feel like they could have just
because
left
Silent
it
Hills got canceled entirely.
up. They could have just left PT up though.
You'd think they would have, but that one was a big demo for it to kind of show off what they could do. But it got since Silent Hills got canceled entirely and they like lost the licensing for a little bit. That's another reason. And then third game, I'm hoping gets a little bit more on it because it's only been talked about like twice, maybe 3 times. Is Slitterhead.
Yeah.
I want to
I
see.
I remember. Here's the weird thing. I literally knew nothing about that game. Like when you mentioned it, but I looked up the thing and I remember seeing that at it was I think in E3. I think E3 was where it was announced. I remember seeing that at E3 and being
And
interested.
it looks like the Gugenshu from Final Fantasy VII. You don't know what that is. You will soon.
No.
But yeah, I'm excited about that one because it's been talked about very little, like maybe 3 times. I'm excited to see where that one goes because I think that's another. I think that's a Kojima game, and if so, oh, we're in for a mind fucking right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Very interesting. Well, there's a lot to look up towards, huh?
You got anything else on upcomings?
Upcomings, no. There's not really any Nintendo games I'm super crazy about that's upcoming. There's no game that like is coming out that I'm like, oh, dude, I can't wait for this. There's a bunch of cool games coming that are super cool looking, but so far, Rebirth, Black Myth Wukong, and I get like OD. Like we got a teaser. We didn't even get a trailer. We got a teaser. So it's like
Yep.
it could be another 2 years.
I hope it's not.
So I hope it's not, but I mean it could be. So it's why it's like on the bottom of my list.
And I also, if Silent Hill got announced, because Silent Hill 2 remake got announced, if anything on that was coming out this year, that'd be up there, but we don't know anything on when it's coming out.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know.
Hey, you know what? Hell, throw Silent Hill 2 on there just in case it comes out in 2024. But now we got our, because this is an apology, because this was supposed to be out 9.5 hours ago. Don't know what happened to it. Like,
Yeah.
5 people listened to the original one, and so if you 5 people heard the original one, congrats. You're literally one of 5 people that heard the
For some
original
reason
one.
it got taken down. And I will say, so far I'm liking this one better. Which I mean, last one we kind of gave more of an explanation, but it was more of an explanation on games that we already recorded. So it was
Yeah.
like, it's fine. It's fine.
And
It sucks, but it's fine.
So right now, just because this is me saying this, Danger kind of agreed with it, but this is an apology from us for those avid listeners out there, listeners slash watchers. We have a few updates we're gonna do, and
Which, by the way, last time when we ended the video, I just want to say this. Last time we ended the video, we knew all of this way ahead of time, but we just wanted to keep it a secret. Be like, just know this year's gonna be big. But because we're recording this anyway, we're gonna go ahead and tell why this year is going to be big.
and we're also gonna have one thing that Danger doesn't even know that there's an update gonna happen. So
Ooh.
I'm biting the bullet. Final Fantasy.
Biting the bullet. Final Fantasy's coming to the channel, guys. Can't wait for it. You know, we literally talked about we're gonna play Final Fantasy. Guess what we're doing? Final Fantasy. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
That's literally. I don't know why that was literally. It's like, all right, I'm biting the bullet.
Because you got it. You got it on your mind. You know, you're hyped about Final Fantasy. You know.
I do a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff when it comes down to publicity of games and gamers. So I'm going to announce on March 1st, Games and Gamers will be hitting Spotify and iTunes.
Let's go.
So if you people out there would rather listen to us on Spotify or iTunes, we will be out there on March 1st. I'm going to do everything in my power over the next month to get every single episode ready to go.
Oh, boy.
I am going to have no space on my laptop for the next 3 weeks. But we also want to update on what's going on in the first half of the year. Because Danger and I, last year we would kind of do like we'd go to the game and be like, hey, what game do we want to play next? Now we at least have a plan. I'm gonna say this right now, set in stone. My games are set in stone. And also, Danger, I hate to tell you, I forgot to tell you this is one of the things in February is a thing I'm doing. I forgot to tell you that, so you don't have to worry. I forgot. My bad. You'd get yours. Oh. You get yours. Don't worry. Okay. I completely forgot about it.
Okay.
You know what? We'll figure this out. But so we're gonna go down the list of how Games and Gamers 2024 up until until the first video of May is.
Mm-hmm.
So. We have, after this one, we're going to do Batman Arkham Asylum. That one's already been recorded. That one is edited. That one will be uploaded onto the channel, ready to go. Danger will do all his behind-the-scenes stuff within the next 24 hours on it. Mm-hmm. After that, we're going to hop to Life is Strange, a personal favorite game of mine by Square Enix. Then, February is going to be Danger's month. It is his birthday month, so we're going to let him take February. Maybe. He at least has one episode. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and that'll be the month whenever I'm getting everything set up.
I will have 2 episodes without a doubt. I'll have 2.
Well, that's the iffy part that I was telling you about. Because
did you forget about something?
Yes, actually.
We could do an extra upload.
Yeah, we can.
We could do an extra upload.
Care.
Why not?
So, yeah, we're going to have, I guess, 3 videos for February, because that's a shorter... Yeah, fuck it. We're going to have 4. We're going to have 1 each week of February.
All right.
We're going to have...
that sounds cool.
We're going to start off thing. Danger's going to have a month episode with...
Hold on. I wouldn't go saying the name.
No. I'm going to let you say who for certain is going to be.
Oh, boy, guys. Guess what? Believe it or not, this might sound insane. I have a girlfriend.
What? I didn't know this.
I know.
Why the fuck am I still single?
This sounds crazy. I know. My
sad and alone.
Riz is impeccable. I have, my ultimate.
I was gonna be
self.
really rude, but I'm not going to because I love you.
And I appreciate that because I know you would do it without a doubt. But yeah. So for February, I thought, how cool would it be if we did a Valentine's special episode? Because I did want to do a Nintendo episode, regardless of this or not. Before this idea happened because I wanted to talk about Nintendo, and you're on my side, right? So hey, you're here, but you're here.
Yeah, I'm on your left.
Hayden. Okay, Hayden here is not the biggest Nintendo guy, which is totally fine.
Don't
okay,
put
let me put more logic. In comparison of all of Nintendo, there are quite a few games, especially towards the Mario side, that he's not the biggest fan of. Not that he doesn't like them at all, but he's not the biggest fan of these games. And so I thought, what if I went ahead and did a Valentine's special for all of like go ahead and talk with my girlfriend about just a bunch of Nintendo games, and I thought that'd be pretty cool. And so it's going to be a little more of a weird episode because we're not going to be talking about one game. It's more just kind of talking about Nintendo games that we enjoy. So if anything, it'd be an episode just kind of learning about me a little more, but also you'd learn about my significant other a little more. So I thought it'd be just a cool, fun video for Valentine's. This was just a little thing.
Oh, how sweet. You're in love. I hate life. This is how the world works.
But then for later on down the road for a birthday episode, because it would be over 2 weeks later, I was going to do an episode with my friend on my channel, Gamer. Just Mr. Gamer. I mean, if he says his real name, that's entirely up to him. But Mr. Gamer, I'm going to be playing with him, and we're going to just be talking about a proper Nintendo episode of a game, and we'll figure that out. Because I'm going to save because we already agreed that we were going to do Mario 64, and so that game is not going to be there. I had an idea of a game that him and me might enjoy that I really think would be cool. The game that I'm thinking, I'm not going to say it, but I do have an idea of. Actually, no, I can because we're going to actually go down the list. You said both the January, so do I go ahead and say the game that I'm thinking of to do with Gamer?
Yeah, sure. I don't care.
I can ask him. I'm thinking about doing Mario Galaxy for that one.
Works for me.
I'm thinking about that.
I'm not touching.
I'm gonna talk about Mario Galaxy with the Valentine's episode, but I think of doing an actual full-fledged episode.
You're going to bring it up and that one be more in-depth than that one. Makes sense to me. And like I said, February will be my month where I'll be getting everything set up for March. So I'm going to actually have another episode recorded of a Games and Gamers this upcoming Saturday to get prepared for that. But I'm going to have my good old buddy Dale. If you ever heard my other podcast, Doken Wen, which maybe you have, maybe you haven't, I don't know. Go check out Doken Wen podcast on all platforms and KH Hauser on YouTube. We're going to talk about Halo. This was back. I recorded this a few months ago, like maybe back during the Final Fantasy VII remake era of games. That's how long that's been sitting on my computer.
Jeez.
Yeah. And we're also going to do a review of the original Dead Space for February. So, however the sequence goes, whether...
I feel like you've mentioned that to me before.
We talked about it about a week ago.
Yeah, I feel like you mentioned that.
Yeah, so when it comes down to it, I don't know if it'll go Danger Hayden. But at least throughout February, we're going to go through February of Danger will do... Oh, that's a shame. Will stop playing Dokkan. But...
Another one.
Yep. My good old buddy of the podcast, and got to get Dale and Will on there for one final goodbye of Dokkan Wen because I think they're done with it. But
that sucks.
Yep, it does. Yeah, back to being. Yep. But anyway, Danger's gonna do Nintendo.
You need someone on the slot.
Danger's gonna go back to doing Nintendo, and then I guess Mario Galaxy. Hayden's gonna do Halo lore more specifically. I'm getting into the lore of Halo in that one, and reviewing Dead Space. Then we're going to go to March. March is my birthday month. Mm-hmm. And I'll be a son of a bitch if we don't play what I want to play. Because I'm giving Danger February.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be able to play one of them. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, we're going to be able to play one of them. Trying to play both. Which, also, we might really be able to because of the news I got.
If I have to, I will review one of these games by myself. If I have to.
No, get someone else to do it with you.
But also, the reason we're doing it like this isn't anything like that. Honestly, the February thing is a gag, but with Danger Month. But also, I reviewed Danger's game Alien Isolation, which is why I'm picking two games back to back. We're going to do Final Fantasy 16 for March and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It'll be our first game our second game on the channel that we're going to be doing within the first 2 or 3 months of release, which I'm excited for. I'm
excited for that.
Then we're going to go to April, to which it'll be our anniversary month of Games and Gamers, or 1 year anniversary of this shitty little podcast that we have.
I think it's cool how it worked out to where it's like my month, your month, anniversary. Yeah. So it's like celebration after celebration after celebration. So I think that's cool. I think that's a really cool.
And from here on out, it'll be Danger Month, Hayden Month, Anniversary Month. And so
I think that's super cool how that turned out.
And with how that one's gonna go is we're gonna have the anniversary month will be our first video of it. We'll be talking the actual anniversary. I'm gonna hopefully be down to visit Danger for the second half of it, the month, to do the actual game review. That is the hope at this moment. I cannot guarantee because that's 4 months down the line, 3 months down the line. But we're gonna do our absolute.
We can't even predict in 1 month, so yeah, it's.
I can't even predict tomorrow because I may be going to town tomorrow with my mother. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
And so, but part 1 of the anniversary will be, we've played a lot of games on the channel. We've played 15, 20 games on the channel. I don't know how many, but we've at least played 10 games on the channel. And we have not had positive reviews on all the games. So we're going to look back in our first season, season, of Games and Gamers. And the games that we did not like, we're going to see what we're going to go through, look at the games, and if we can, we're going to make them how we would change them to make at least a passable game. Like Danger will use Silent Hill as an example because that's probably the lowest rating game on the channel by him.
Yeah, by me. I was about to say, you literally said it's one of your favorite games. Like,
yeah, I mean, I gave it a 5. I gave it a 5 either way.
Yeah, for me it is low. Yeah,
and
so it kind of. Basically, it would be kind of just a recap of everything we played. We're not going to go into detail with it. No, absolutely not. We'd be literally a 10-hour episode. But we're going to talk about sort of everything.
Yeah, we're probably going to do like 2 or 3 games each, and then probably also look back at the games we've played too. And then for the game of April, because we are still going to have a game for April, we're not going to make it just an anniversary month. And we kind of are. This one at least coincides. This one coincides with it. Is our first game of Season 2. Will be The Last of Us Part 2. And it also works out really well because the remaster just came out, or is coming out soon. So
I literally thought it would be cool. I was looking at the games, I was like, man, like by then I should be able to get The Last of Us 2. I was like, we should do that. Like, what episode where we meet and we start the first episode, the first one we talk about is The Last of Us, then we meet again and then we talk about The Last of Us 2. I think that'd be cool. It'd be a cool thing to do. I think The Last of Us is a series deserving of being talked about during an anniversary.
Yeah.
Or you thought it was deserving to talk about for like the first actual episode. We're not including. And
we're gonna go down. I'm gonna go down to Texas. Hopefully, we're gonna record it in his garage, like we did last year.
Which, my goodness, it has been super.
Oh man, there's a bed in there. I see Sonic the Hedgehog. I see probably
there's
Wolverine.
A bunch of posters. There, I now have manga. I have My Hero Academia stuff now.
Nerd.
There's Mario Kart up here. You can't see it.
I can see it.
There's Mario. I did Pokemon stuff here, but I moved the Mario stuff to my brother's room. He has a bunch of the Nintendo
and then
stuff
for May, because this will end the first half of the year, Hayden likes video games. Hayden has played a lot of video games. Hayden wants to play an older game. We're going to hop into Dino Crisis.
And I was totally fine with it because I can play it on an emulator. But also, Hayden has literally talked about this game within like the first quarter or the first half of this channel's existence.
Well, I've talked a lot about the older games, like Parasite Eve got talked about, Resident Evil got talked about.
Yeah, but I'm just saying this is one of those games that you talked about forever ago and wanted to play on the channel with it. You wanted to play within the first thing, and the way things went, it didn't really work out. We kind of shifted towards other games. But we are definitely you definitely are gonna get this for this one.
Yep, and so ending with May or beginning of May,
and then we will probably, like I mentioned earlier,
that's the second half. That's the second half, but because first half of May, then second half of May. It's 6.5 months. So then after that, we have another fun announcement we're gonna do that we'll be starting in April for our 1 year game anniversary. Danger is going to bow down to me and watch Ordinary Sausage for exactly 72 hours while I'm down at his place.
Hold on. No. That is not. We're not watching Ordinary Sausage. By the way, it's super funny. We talked about it. Literally, one thing. I'll mention it.
Oh, I thought you were about to say you started showing up on your feed again.
No, well, I was just talking what we talked about. When Hayden showed up, he was like, "Oh, have you seen this one channel?" It's like, what? It's called Ordinary Sausage. I know I haven't seen it. You want to watch it? Sure. Give me one item. I was like, I don't know, this food item. He's like, okay, bet. Looked it up. He goes, hey guys, so here's our item here that we're going to be taking and turning to a sausage, and it's time.
We actually do need to talk about it because I had to cut it out of the original one.
Oh, you did?
I had to. I'm pretty sure I did. It's just stupid banter. I was trying to get us cut down a little
Oh,
bit.
okay, I get it. But yeah,
But
so I
and
imagine here.
yes, I went down to visit Danger in whatever the hell his place is,
It was
Texas.
every day you've been here. Every day that you've been here, it played like, and even if we weren't on watching the TV, we were talking or I was making food. It was on the TV just going, and it was
we
just
made the joke
hours.
we made the joke that's how I bonded with Danger and his family is
Yeah,
Danger well,
I have two brothers.
mother
We're not. I'm not.
mother, middle Danger, and little Danger would leave. You come back, Danger and I are just sitting on the couch watching Ordinary Sausage. Danger would leave, Mother would leave, and little Danger would leave. It's me and middle Danger sitting now on the couch watching Ordinary Sausage. Mother would leave, Danger would leave, middle Danger would leave. You come back, it's just me and little Danger sitting on the couch. Then it's Danger would leave, middle Danger would leave, little Danger would leave. And then you come back and Mama Danger and Hayden are just sitting watching Ordinary Sausage on the couch.
It was so funny. It was hilarious. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's interesting to see how it works. And then honestly, we look at it, I feel like I feel like that food combination would work, or it probably wouldn't. But yeah, it was hilarious. But yeah, so do you want to go ahead and say, or do you want
Yeah,
me to?
so I forgot. I'm
to say it?
texting Will. We're gonna do a goodbye episode for Among Doken When. I'll probably get Dale on there too, because just a goodbye to him.
Yeah.
But so for April, because it's our 1 year game anniversary. Danger, I'm sorry this is taking a lot longer for your thing. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
I mean, you're not playing anything good anyway. But
Okay, hold on.
you said what you're playing. So
I did.
Danger and I play a lot of games. We've done a lot of games on both of. Danger's played games on his channel. I've played a lot of games on my channel. So we decide why not finally join forces with each other in gaming. We are going to make our own new 1 year game anniversary channel, Games and Gamers Gaming.
I'm excited. I've been wanting to do this for the longest time. I'm
And-
excited that we're fine. We literally talked about this months ago.
Yep.
We were playing a game, and I literally was like, dude, what if we did like a game, like, because we've played games together. We've played Yu-Gi-Oh together. We've played Dokkan together. We played there was one other game. We played The Force together. We played Generation Zero together. We've played games together, and we were gonna end up playing a farming game, but I already predicted y'all probably weren't gonna play that for that long, and so I didn't even bother trying to. Like
We
you're
had
like
fun.
you're like hey let's play this game. And I'm like. We played 2 games that y'all kept recommending to me to play, and then we play them like once or twice, and we never play
Well,
again.
here's the
So
thing.
I'll let you.
We try to get you to play, but for whatever but your reason is like, man, if I don't know within a fortnight, if I haven't received a letter by Paul Ryder himself, I
Well, to be
cannot
fair,
play.
to be fair, y'all. Oh, and also, I say give me just 1 day. I just say like if you're gonna play tomorrow, let me know. Like that was the only thing is like let me know and I'll download it ahead of time.
But
It wasn't even, but yeah. But one thing is I've been super excited about playing games. I was like, hey, you know what? Let's just go ahead because we have Games and Gamers podcast. So I was like, what if we do Games and Gamers gaming? And we even talked about like a game that could have been the first game. Just it was a game you talked about. And I was like, and that's where it was. You were playing a game and I was watching and I was
Yeah,
like, we were just kind of talking while you were
God.
playing a game. I was like, we'd never talk about this game on the podcast. I was like, what if we just did like a stream of, or a recording of this game? So I was like, oh,
so
let's do that.
this will be in lieu for something like that on how we're gonna go about it. We're gonna figure out a lot more of the actual details going into it, but this will
Yeah.
it'll still be a review overall when it comes
Yeah.
down to it. Let's say we're gonna throw a game out there. Let's throw a game out there. The bouncers.
Also, if we're doing a game together, it doesn't mean that we'll never review it on the podcast.
Yeah.
But if it's a game we're playing on gaming, chances of us of talking about it on the podcast are probably not as much.
At least not
But-
that'll be like a long, in-depth review at the end of it, where it's like, yeah, the game
Yeah.
is fine. Here's the issues of it, as opposed to us going
Yeah.
through the thing. We'll use this game Shadow Hearts as
Yeah.
a prime example.
Sure, like if
we
he plays it and I watch it and whatnot, and then I would be going based off story, or how I think the gameplay looks, because I myself am not playing it myself, right? So it's a different thing. But it is a sense of I'm watching it, you've played it, I watched it. Here's my review from a perspective standpoint. So we again, the option's still on the table. But then if it's a game where it's like the 2-player Resident Evil game, if we're able to both play it and like have our at that point we may just do our own respective versions on our channel. Isn't there a 2-player
You mean
Resident Evil game?
Revelations? Revelations 2.
Yeah.
Revelations 2 is
oh.
like a 2-player story game.
Okay, I thought it was more than that. I thought it was more than.
Outbreak is But Outbreak is possible. I don't know on Outbreak. I've only ever played it by
Okay.
myself. I don't know if
Yeah.
that one's split screen or not. If not, we'll
Yeah.
figure out something like that. But it all comes
But I was
down
just
to
saying, but at that point, then we just do it on our own channels, and it's its own thing. But it's a thing we both play and then review on podcast. But we figure something out
yeah.
because gaming, it has to be both of us there. We can't do multiple streams. We can. We're not going to though. Multiple streams on one channel. But
Both streaming at the exact same time. We're both playing.
exact same time. Yeah, it's like how Battle Hour does multiple streams for different languages or different sections. It'd
Yep,
be
and
like
it's
that.
it's the same game. It's like the Forest. We were playing your perspective, playing my perspective,
Yeah.
streaming at the exact
All
same
three of us
time.
were streaming during the forest. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
But yeah, so Games and Gamers Gaming will be coming out this upcoming year in April. That is a plan. If not
That's
in
the
April,
plan.
we're gonna get it in May. Whenever Danger and I are together, we're gonna get everything finalized to go. So come watch us play some video games.
I'm excited. I think it's super cool. Again, we had all this pretty much planned, but wanted to keep it secret. But because of what happened, we're like, screw it. Let's go ahead and say it.
Yeah, I mean, if people had asked, are we ever gonna do a gaming thing? I 100% would have said, oh yeah, we'll play it. Nobody ever asked.
Yeah, nobody's ever asked. But yeah, I'm excited. We also went up in subs again. Like since last time I checked, we
Okay.
got up.
Do you want to know why?
Why? What happened?
I've started doing YouTube shorts on there.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that. I think I did see one. Yeah, cool.
We
Yeah,
have like 2 or 3 up right now.
cool. That's super sick. I do think that's a good way to kind of reach out. It's like a TikTok for reaching
Yeah.
out for people.
And we also have a TikTok. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, we got TikTok.
Go check out our Games and Gamers TikTok, which anything you see on the feed of Games and Gamers shorts, more than likely, you'll be seeing on there some other stupid TikTok names. So go check out Games and Gamers, games.and.gamers.podcast on TikTok.
But yeah, I think it's cool. I'm excited. I'm super excited.
Games and Gamers 2024 should be a really good year. And we also, because Danger and I are both collecting a lot of stuff, we may have to move into a different gaming house. We're going to have to wait and see. So.
Oh yeah, the room that y'all typically see for it.
Yep.
Which I will be able to add. I do plan on adding one more item for mine before the end of the season.
God, I want to add something, but fuck, I don't know what.
Yeah, let me try. Let me know by next time. Let me know by next time we try to record. Because I am going to have something done by.
There's a small issue with that, sir.
Yeah.
I have so many things that it could be.
You could.
I have so many games that it could be.
Yeah. I have one item that I do want to add, and I'm going to be actually maybe 2. I'm going to be adding 2 in February.
If anything,
Spoiler, they're Nintendo themed. Spoiler alert.
Gross. If anything, it's probably going to be something PS2 related. If anything.
Mm-hmm.
But
all right, but it all sounds fun. I'm super excited.
This is our plans. Like this past 30 minutes is our plan for 2024.
Something we will keep secret, but I do think we should say is that our own channels. I think that should be something that because we're both working on. I'm working on something on my channel, and you're doing something.
And I'm testing out a theory I have. We're gonna have to wait and see.
He's testing a theory for him, and I'm gonna be. I have a streaming schedule. By the way, I was supposed to be streaming an hour ago now. Like a streaming schedule set. Gonna be doing more playthroughs and gonna be trying to test the waters with thumbnails and stuff and descriptions, and hopefully try to do better for channels. So this year, I'm excited. Could do some Nautica again at some point.
No,
yeah,
tonight.
I could do it. I'm not against it. Hold on.
There you go. It's better than Fortnite.
Fortnite, I could just pull up and play for an hour or 2. But then Subnautica, you know what? I'm going to say no.
Damn.
Because Subnautica, I would have to know ahead of time to set it up, and I would want to stream for a long time, and I can't do that. I need to literally be in bed in like an hour and a half. So I think I'm just going to do Fortnite for tonight. But then Subnautica, I'd be down to do that again. Subnautica was one of my most successful streaming things, but I think the problem with it, I mean, we're getting off topic, but the problem with it was I streamed for like 3-hour episodes, and I made almost 0 progress, and I was kind of just stuck. And so I think that's kind of what broke me to not play it again, because I didn't want to do
anything you own that you could actually stream that's not emulator.
Oh, there's a lot that I can stream. There's a lot that I can stream. Do I want to stream it though? Like right now, I can literally see like Yu-Gi-Oh again, Fall Guys, Dead by Daylight. I could do Baldur's Gate on Twitch. If I did it, I'd be on Twitch. Literally, the
Yeah, because Twitch has no rules anymore.
Twitch is doing bad. I could go back to Among Us. I don't think I will. I've said anytime I try to go in a group for Among Us, it's never gone. We've never been put together. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot that I can stream. It's just what do I want to stream that I think would be a fun series that I don't see myself doing as a YouTube series that I think I'd enjoy doing as a stream. So I'll figure it out at some point. I was thinking about doing Nintendo games about getting a there's like a $15 thing I get to put the Switch on my laptop. But yeah, both our channels are getting updated. Both our channels we're going to be doing something with, and so I'm excited. So not even just games and gamers, but both our individual channels, which they're always down below.
Yep. Don't forget to edit
If you do want to check them out, you may just only like this, but if you want to see more from us,
if you want to see, if you want to see both of us play games,
yeah, but we haven't really been streaming with each other recently, but it's mostly because I haven't really been able to play Dokkan, and we kind of fell off Yu-Gi-Oh a bit, mostly me, but we did kind of fall off Yu-Gi-Oh, and that was pretty much our two main games that we played a lot together the most, and we just haven't really
play
found...
once a week still. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, okay, then I'm completely wrong. My bad. But well, streaming it, you don't stream it all the time anymore. Though.
No,
but you do
play. My stupid laptop struggles to stream it.
Yeah, which I mean it's a reasonable thing. We still hang out all the time, but for like doing like gaming stuff, we do need to find a game at some point. That's why I think Games and Gamers, the gaming thing would be cool because it forces us to play more. So we got to figure out solutions to games we want to play.
It takes two because we started it and never finished it.
We can do that.
And since I own it, you just got to get the free version again, and we can play it.
Mm-hmm. So there you go.
All right, that'll be our stream. That'll be our stream. All right, good night, everybody.
If you want to, that could be Games and Gamers Gaming. All right.
All right, but yeah, any wise words to end off, or I guess begin off 2024 on the second day of the year?
Yeah, it's the first. Well, I guess the day is just coming out. It's going to be good. I already know it's going to be good. We went ahead and told you all our plans. We have our own plans for our own channels. We got a bunch of stuff going on, and I think it's cool. I think it's going to be really cool, and we have a lot planned. And yeah, I think this is going to be a really good year. I do think this is going to be good.
Yep, I think so too. If not for games and gamers, at least both of us gaming wise. I'm hoping games and gamers.
Either way, we're gonna be good.
I'm really hoping not much cool comes out this year because I got a lot of games I got to beat, and I need to start beating them as opposed to just collecting more.
Yeah. I mean,
I just showed you 4 games right there that I need to play.
Yeah. I mean, hey. You got stuff coming out, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
But with all that, I thank everybody for watching Games and Gamers. I thank you for listening to our first, not full year, but first year of Games and Gamers. 2024 should be a lot better than 2023. I'm really hoping because I'm gonna try out something with the Life is Strange episode, and see it. We might be able to start cutting down our videos down as opposed to like 4 or 5 hours to maybe much more reasonable chunks. I'm gonna test this out on Life is Strange. We're gonna have to wait and see.
I'm interested.
It all depends. This is not a dig at Danger. It all depends on Danger.
I am getting the thing tomorrow though.
Yeah, and that's not what I mean. That is at all not what I mean.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you until we actually start Life is Strange, but I'll tell you this after this. But anyway, we're going to try and change up our system a little bit and see how it goes. So I thank you all for listening. Stay tuned for Games and Gamers 2024 and our exorbitant amount of games. Say bye, Danger.
See ya. Bye.
Peace out, dudes and dudettes, lads and lassies, gamers and gamettes. We'll see you in the rest of 2024. Bitches!